One of my clients' credit scores just jumped from a 500 to almost an 800 in less than a few months. If you don't know who I am, my name is Malik, and I literally got banned for teaching people how they can clean their credit, rebuild it, and then get approved for funding. This is my TikTok, this is my Instagram. In today's video, I have a live testimonial from one of my clients who I helped take their credit score from a low 500 all the way up to 800 in less than a few months. All right, so today I have my guy Mitch on here. He's one of my clients and everything. Got him great results, helped him get his credit up from, I'm not really sure where it was at, but I think it was like 500-600, so I'm not really sure. But I know after seeing his results in December, I was able to get him up to like an 800 credit score. So I just wanted to get him on in here so he can explain to you guys about my service, about how he did not get scammed, and just so he can give you guys some knowledge about business and how you can leverage your credit the correct way, because he's a business owner himself. So
yeah, my credit score went up almost 300 points, and the reason it was so low at the time was I had some identity theft and fraud from a previous business partner. So yeah, anybody can have bad credit. My credit was always good. Now it's back. And it's really important, especially when you're in business, to do funding and working with the banks, getting loans. We have multiple businesses. We buy and sell property. Everything requires you to have a good credit score. And of course, if you can be in the 800s like I am now, that just kind of puts you at the top tier, for funding especially. I mean, banks just want to see people that have no debt and good credit and, see that you're building something. And this is how you get ultimately to these higher limit credit cards. And, lines of credit are, really important. And a lot of banks don't want to do lines of credit for anybody if your credit's got even anything on it that's negative.
Yeah. What do you feel like what do you feel like the average person does wrong with their credit? Like, you being a business owner and everything like that, like based off what the average person thinks their credit is all about,
A lot of mistakes that people make, especially younger people with their credit as well, is they don't protect it. They're not monitoring it on a daily basis. I wake up every morning and I check my credit score.
Yeah, I do the same.
You never know what's going to be there, what's not going to be there. And if something is there, it gives you the opportunity to fix it. You don't want to walk into a bank and say, hey, I need to borrow $1 million. They look at your credit and they go, oh, sorry, there's something on there and you didn't even know about it. You just look like an idiot. So in reality, credit's so important because you need to protect your credit. And a lot of things that people are doing that they don't realize is they'll just ding their credit whenever. They'll do something, or they'll go into a car dealership and the car dealership will run their credit 26 times, completely ruin it, sell them a car. But in reality, they could have just went to their local bank or Capital One Finance and just did a one credit pull and got a car loan. And they would have, dinged their credit a couple points compared to like 30-40 points if you go into a dealership. So there's little things like that people need to learn to, not let other people just run their credit whenever it is. If it's buying a phone or doing this or doing that, you're always going to take a hit. Inquiries are hard to remove. They're removable, but, it's a pain in the ass. And, I've seen people with credit. I have friends that had 126 fucking inquiries on their credit because they just go somewhere. Oh, I bought an ATV. Yeah, they ran your credit 30 times. Oh, I just bought a new car 30 more times. You're at 60 inquiries and you should be at like 2 or 3. So
wow,
that's huge. I think that a lot of people just need to overall monitor their credit on a daily basis and protect their self. I mean, it's to protect yourself. I don't let anyone run my credit for anything unless it's an absolute must and I have a plan. That inquiry has to pay off in some way whatsoever. If I'm going to go get a credit card and I'm trying to get $50,000 and I'm going to run that, they're going to run it. And then some credit cards, I don't mess with them. I don't mess with Capital One because they run all your bureaus. So that's the credit compared to, American Express might run it one time. So, people need to just be paying attention. You need to have some type of monthly subscription to somebody where you're watching your credit, you're protecting yourself, and you're just not letting people do whatever they want to do just whenever. And most people don't pay attention to that. So
oh yeah, I agree. I definitely do agree. So when it comes to business funding, like, can you explain the importance of why somebody would need business funding? Because a lot of people, they think it's just, oh, I'm just getting these credit cards. Like, no, like, what's the whole correlation behind a business owner getting this capital?
I mean, if you're a true business owner, you're getting funding to expand your business, to invest in, things that are going to make you money. If you're somebody out there just trying to get a credit card so you can go shopping, you're wasting your time. You're going to ruin your credit. And I know a lot of people do that. All these videos of people saying, "Oh, let me get you the bag, and let me get you this, and I'll get you that." You know, it's stupid because it's my partner right here.
How you doing, man?
It's just dumb because they're not. If you're trying to get 0% interest funding, you can do a lot of stuff with that money. You can invest it. You can buy product, sell that product. If somebody gets you $100,000 in funding, you should be thinking about tripling that money, not just spending it. People go out and spend money, they buy dumb stuff and clothes and shoes and things they can't afford, and they have no way to pay it back. So that's what's important. I mean, any real business person getting funding is using that money to make more money. And if you're not, then you ain't in business, and you're not a real person. You're just part of the matrix.
What do you feel like is one of the worst investments that anybody can make when it comes to their credit? Like a car, like buying a car they can't afford. What's the worst decision that you think that people should avoid doing with the credit? There's a lot of them, it's a lot.
Well, no, there is, but it's pretty simple. If you're getting funding and if you're getting funding and you're spending that money with no way to pay it back and no plan to pay it back, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
It gives you 50 grand. Somebody like me is thinking, I'm going to take this 50 grand. I'm going to buy this product. I'm going to sell it on this platform. I'm going to do this. And I have a plan as to how I'm going to take that money and pay that money back. If somebody else, a lot of people, they just go, oh yeah, I just got 50 grand and they go shopping. With no plan to pay the money back or how they would do it. That is the worst thing you can do.
It is.
If you got $1 million in funding, it's fine. But I would sit on that money until I had a clear plan as to how I'm going to double it up. And if you don't, then you just shouldn't be in the business of getting funding at all, because, it doesn't work, because next thing you know, the card's maxed out, got no way to pay it back. Your credit's messed up again. And, a lot of people, they think small. They're, oh yeah, I got a credit card with 20 grand on it. And 20 grand's nothing. I want 200 grand. I want 2 million. Serious funding, real money that you can do real things with. You can buy properties, you can flip houses, you can do all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so if you get a little 20 grand on a credit card and you're like, yeah, this is great, and you're spending money that you don't have to pay back, you're not in business. You already screwed yourself over. It's that simple. So spending money that you don't have without a clear plan as to how you're going to get it back or get more of it, that's it. You're already game over at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty much over at that point. It's definitely over. I want to show you guys his results and everything. You guys can see right here, 805, 684, and then 798. So 294 point increase right there, 171 point increase right there, and a 169 point increase right there. Now, what was I going to say? How many other people have you worked with before, like us, would you say? Like, how many people have you paid? I'm sure you paid a few people.
No, yeah, I've worked with a few people. A lot of people out there try to just way overcharge you for the service. They want thousands of dollars to do this, and then they come and they tell you they're going to do funding and charge you 10% and all that. And, those are really inflated prices, because what a lot of people don't know, I'm not trying to blow up the funding game, but, all these guys out there, they say, oh, I'll get you 250,000 in funding at 10%. They get you the money, and then, they don't tell you that 2 months later, if you haven't used that card, American Express can drop it down to 2 grand.
Yeah.
So that funding that you got and paid 25,000 to get now becomes worth less than 25,000, because if you're not using that funding, then, and if you're not using that card and maxing it out and paying it back and doing this and that, the banks now are super tight with their money, so they'll just take it away from you. And they
giving y'all some free game. He giving y'all free game right now.
It is free game, because getting funding is cool and paying for it is fine. But if you're overpaying for it, that's not great. And that funding doesn't last forever. It can go away, and it will. I have had multiple credit cards that I just forgot to use. And, I'll go to use it one day and, it's declined for some reason. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, the limit's 5,000. I'm like, well, it was 30. What
Yeah,
happened? Oh,
yeah.
well, you didn't use it for a year, so we dropped it down. Oh, okay, cool. So now it's 5. And then to build it back up once it's at 5, it could take a year or two. So yeah, it's kind of how I feel about that. So it's like if people aren't honest with you straight up, and a lot of funding people aren't, they want to overcharge you, and then they're not going to tell you that that funding can disappear and then you're out 25 grand. I mean, I know a guy that got like 250,000 in funding. He didn't do much with it. And then the banks were tightening things up. The economy's not great. And, they dropped all his cards down to like $1,000 a piece.
Damn.
Yeah. So his total funding was sitting at like 8 grand out of
8 grand.
Yeah, because they just dropped I think he got like $250,000 in funding between 8 credit cards.
8 credit cards.
And then never did much with it, didn't have a plan. And then when he did, he went to go check them and they were all at $1,000 limit, because American Express, Chase, all these banks, they'll drop that stuff down if you're not doing anything with it, because it's a liability to them. They know the money's out there. It can be used at any time. Anybody can just say, oh no, I lost my job, so I'm going to go max out this $25,000.
Yeah.
The bank knows that, so they're going to drop it down to $1,000, and they're going to say, go ahead. You want to go below $1,000 and not pay us back? They're fine with that, but they're not willing to risk, 25,000. And if you've got 4 credit cards with American Express and it's $100,000 total, they're going to drop all of them because they're at $100,000 risk of you having those cards in your pocket. So, and they know that if you're serious, if you're a serious business person or not. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest risk out there, because people are going out there paying high prices to get their credit fixed, which your prices are not high. You were one of the best deals out there. So, for everybody who's watching, you gave me the best deal, which is why I ultimately went with you, and it worked. So everything, you said you were going to do, you did. It's fine. And we're making progress, and it was cheap, and compared to what a lot of people are asking for. And, we're going to move towards funding soon. So, but yeah, a little bit of gain for all those people out there trying to get funding. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to pay a high price for it and then not use it properly, you're going to get ripped off, because they're going to take the funding away, and nobody do that. Nobody tells you that you can lose that funding 2 months later.
I've never heard anybody say that. Nobody say that at all.
Well, I mean, most people, because you're just talking to somebody that it's happened to. I've done it. I've had a card that I forgot to use, and my limit went from 30 grand to 5, and I was like, oh shit! Like because I forgot to use it. You gotta apply this funding to something, So I'd rather have that money out there working for me, making money, and just hold the debt for a while and pay it later, than sit on a bunch of funding that's doing nothing, because it'll disappear. You can go from having hundreds of thousands. I knew a guy who was in business, and quick story.
Yeah, of course.
He probably had 300K in funding.
300K? Okay.
Just from American Express alone.
Wow.
He had a ton of funding from just American Express. So one day he's on the phone with American Express, and this actually happened right in front of me, and he's arguing with the lady over something. I don't even know what it was. Auto payment didn't go through or something. He gets mad at her. He yells at the lady. He was disrespectful to her. And a week later, they closed every single credit card account that he had with them. And he lost 300,000 in funding over a 6-minute conversation, because he was A lot of people don't know that. You can be rude to somebody on the phone, and guess what? They'll tell you to go kick rocks. See you later. Have a nice day. Closed all his accounts. All the letters came in the mail, one after another. And he sat there.
Wow.
He sat there in front of me, and he was opening his mail, and he's looking at him like, what? He starts freaking out. They closed all of his accounts. Sorry.
Wow. I've never heard nothing like that. I've never heard of nothing like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people just don't know that these companies can do pretty much whatever they want, whenever they want. And you just don't know unless it happens to you. So now he knows you can't call American Express and treat them like shit, because they'll just tell you, have a nice day, and close all your accounts.
And they don't care how much money you're making.
They don't care. Doesn't matter. That's $1 billion company. Well, you could be making millions and millions and millions of dollars. They don't give a shit about you. You're still this big to them. You're nothing. You're
Yeah,
you're
I
just a
agree.
name on their list of clients. So yeah, it is what it is.
I agree. Okay, so I've showed everybody your results and everything like that. Obviously, I could show them again, but is there anything that you want to leave anybody with to think about? You know, before we get off the Zoom and everything, is there anything that you want somebody just like you just want to leave somebody with something to think about? You know, something that'll change their life as a business owner. You know?
As a business owner, the fact that we have the option to go out there and get this money, get your credit built up, get some money under your belt. If you do the right thing with it and you make a clear plan as to how you're going to utilize that money to make more money and just build it bigger and bigger and bigger, it's a huge opportunity. And it's a huge opportunity that might not last forever. We don't know how many years we have left, before they can't fix your credit anymore, before funding goes from $50,000 credit cards to $2,000 credit cards. There could be a time when there's a new president, there's a new whatever. Laws change all the time, and so do the banks. The banks follow what's going on in the world. When times are good, their pockets are loose and money's flowing. And when times are tough, they tighten up. So everybody out there should be taking advantage of this opportunity, and they should also be investing wisely. Do not get a credit card and go spend all that money on dumb shit. Just don't. Just take that money and just think all you want to do with it is make more money. And if you do that, you'll be successful. And if you work hard at it and you pay your bills, you do what you got to do, you can make a good living. There's a lot of money in the world. There's a lot of money out there. And if you get your hands on it and you do the right thing with it, then you're going to make more money. Get rich. That's how we do it. It's how we did it in the beginning. We always took the money and just focused it on making more money. How can I double up? How can I triple up? What can I invest in? What can I do? It was never any question. I never went out to eat. I never bought anything. I wear black t-shirts and jeans every single day. I just have like 30 of these black t-shirts, and you just buy them online. They don't cost anything. And even now that I have money, I still have the same, train of thought of, I ain't out there trying to impress anybody. I don't have any fancy watches on. Whether you can afford it or not, it's not necessary. If I buy a $30,000 Rolex, I could have invested $30,000 in the silver market last month, and I would be up 1.5 times my money. I'd be sitting on like 70 grand. So why would I buy that Rolex when I can turn it into 70 grand? People don't think like that, and they should. So, everybody wants to do cars and this, and all that stuff comes. There's always a point in time where your bank account hits a certain level and you can go, okay, now it's time to buy that car. Yeah, cars are depreciating assets, but everybody needs one, and there's no reason why you can't have a nice one. But buying it at the correct time in your life and in your career as a business person is key. You don't need to be making 10 grand a month and 70% of that money goes to a Lamborghini. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
If you're making 10 grand a month, I'm telling you right now, you should be driving a Toyota 4Runner or something at the most. And that, even those are kind of expensive. So, budget correctly. Don't waste your money on stuff that you don't need. And that's it. I mean, at some point in time, when you've stacked enough cash, you'll get all the things you want. You'll be able to afford all the things you want. You'll never be stressed out. And,
Great.
you'd be good to go. So I hope everybody just makes positive money decisions in their life moving forward. Always think about where you can invest your money and how much it's going to bring back to you. Definitely diversify. Don't put all your money in one place. That's the worst thing you can do for anybody.
You guys heard it live. Take care of your credit. Make sure you make the right investments. Don't be dumb blowing a bag on these credit cards. And make sure you use the credit cards, because if you don't, they're going to lower them and it's over, So you guys heard it live and everything. I appreciate you, Mitch, for getting on here, spreading positivity, just giving people hope, because they need it, but also being realistic with them, letting them know, like, hey, I can give you hope, but if you ruin your situation, you're going to be in an even worse situation. So
I can give you all the hope in the world, but you still got to make good decisions. So
Oh yeah, of
stay
course.
positive, go out there, make money, and shoot, there's enough to go around for everybody. So I think everybody could be making a bag easily if you just you're responsible. Just make good decisions with your money. That's all. Don't blow it on dumb stuff.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to learn the exact system that I got banned for giving out for free on Instagram and TikTok, all you need to do is go to the link in my description and get signed up. I'll be teaching you how you can get approved for funding, how to clean your credit fast, and how to rebuild it so that way that the banks trust you and will give you anything that you want. I'm going to leave 2 extra videos on the screen so that way you guys can learn a little bit more about me and what I do for clients outside of what you've seen in this video. All you need to do is click this video right here, and then there'll be another video right here. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe, because they're going to take those interactions and they're going to push this video out to other people. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.